Welcome back to Conversations with Manny. So, have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by life's challenges? I know I have. In today's food for thought, good, bad, who's to say, the power of perspective and choice, I'm going to share two powerful stories that beautifully illustrate how our perspective can shape our experiences and help us find meaning even in tough times. Now, we'll explore a farmer and his horse, and then dive into the remarkable journey of Viktor Frankl, author of Man's Search for Meaning, a man who faced unimaginable darkness but emerged with profound insight. Now, let's see how these stories actually connect and what we can actually learn from them. Let's start with the story of a farmer, his son, and their horse. Now, one day, the farmer accidentally left the barn door open, and their horse ran away. When the nearby villagers, they heard the news, they rushed to him, right? Filled with sympathy for the farmer. They said, "How will you manage your farm without your horse?" Well, you could feel their concern, but the farmer, he simply shrugged and said, "Good, bad, who's to say?" Now, picture this. The villagers were so invested in the farmer's fate. They were quick to judge the situation as bad without knowing what was to come. A few days later, the horse returned. And to everyone's surprise, it brought back two more horses. Well, the villagers, they were ecstatic, right, about this apparent stroke of good fortune. They hurried to the farmer's house, cheering and celebrating. But once again, he shrugged and said, "Good, bad, who's to say?" Now, here's where it gets interesting. The farmer's son decided to train the new horses, but tragically, one of them threw him off, resulting in a broken leg. The villagers, they were heartbroken and said, "Now your son can't help you on the farm." Yet again, the farmer shrugged and replied, "Good, bad, who's to say?" Now, as the son healed, war broke out in the countryside. All the young men were drafted to fight, and many, they lost their lives. But because of his broken legs, the farmer was deemed unfit for service. The villagers, they returned, amazed at the son being spared from the horrors of war. And once more, the farmer simply shrugged and said, "Good, bad, who's to say?" Now, this story, it teaches us an important lesson, right? We cannot predict the outcomes of the events we experience. See, life is full of twists and turns, ups and downs. And sometimes what seems like a setback can really turn into a blessing. It reminds us that we have the power to choose our attitude and response. Have you ever experienced a situation that seemed so negative, but turned out to be a blessing? Now think about that for a moment. Now, let's connect with this with the story of Viktor Frankl. Again, a man who faced unimaginable darkness. Just like the farmer who remained unbothered by his circumstances, Victor's journey was about finding meaning amid suffering. Both stories, they highlight the unpredictable nature of life and how our perspective can actually influence our experiences. They teach us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. Now, Viktor Frankl was not just a psychiatrist. He was a Holocaust survivor who endured one of the darkest periods in human history. Imagine waking up every day in a place filled with despair, with fear, and hopelessness. Viktor, he found himself in a Nazi concentration camp, stripped of his rights, of his dignity, and his loved ones. He witnessed the brutality around him and saw many prisoners lose hope entirely. But even in the darkness, Victor made a crucial observation. Those who maintained a sense of purpose were more resilient. See, they coped by focusing on their loved ones, on their dreams, or even those small acts of kindness. Just like the farmer who accepted the twists and turns of his life, right? Victor understood the importance of finding meaning in suffering. Now, one of the most profound lessons Victor learned was about the power of choice. He couldn't control what was happening to him, but he could control how he gave meaning to those events. He believed that when we're no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. He focused on positive memories, especially of his wife, right, which became his sanctuary. He also thought about how he could help other prisoners, giving him a sense of purpose. This shift in perspective was life-changing. Now, it's a powerful question for all of us. What would you choose in a similar situation? Think about it. How often do we feel trapped by our circumstances? Victor's insight, it reminds us that we have the power to choose our response. Now, Victor's journey, it revealed a critical truth. Those who find meaning in their suffering were more likely to survive. He often asked himself, what is this suffering teaching me? Now, he remembered Nietzsche's word, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. This focus on meaning became his lifeline. He would talk with fellow prisoners, share stories, and encourage them to find their own sense of purpose. Now, after the war, Victor shared his experiences in the book, Man's Search for Meaning. Now, this book has really touched millions of lives, including myself, and is a classic in psychology and self-help. In it, he emphasizes that the search for meaning is the primary motivation in human life. See, it's not just about happiness. It's about purpose. How often do we forget to ask ourselves what our challenges might teach us? Can we reframe our struggles as opportunities for growth? Let's take a moment to reflect. What challenges are you currently facing right now? And how can you find meaning in them? It's a powerful exercise to think about, right? Now, Viktor Frankl's story is a powerful reminder that even in our darkest moments, we hold the key to our responses and our attitudes. So the next time life throws you challenges, remember both the farmer and Viktor Frankl. You may not be able to control your circumstances, but you can sure control your reaction. And just like them, we can choose to search for meaning in our pain, transforming it into strength. Let's strive to find our own meaning, embrace our own freedom to choose, and live purposely. Now, thank you for joining me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What steps will you take to find meaning in your challenges? Please share your experiences in the comment below, and let's keep this conversation going. Now, again, if you found value in this message, please subscribe, please like, please comment, and most importantly, please share. Help us get to 500 subscribers by January 1st.